Hello and welcome to Brett's Picks. You guys want to know what Brett's Picks is? It's this guy right here, Brett Whitehead. I'm Gwen Schroyer, and we talk about college basketball, and Brett tells us who he thinks is going to win. That's what this show's all about. How you doing, Brett?
Good.
Good to be here. We've had a little break. It's so cold. So cold. I am layered up. Are you layered? Yeah, look at, he's layered up. He's wearing shorts though. You see that leg? I don't know what that's
right
about. He's got the Box News Today beanie on. That's
this awesome. Is where we
so
do
listen,
the Box
we're
News
so
and stuff.
excited to be here. We've had several days off. We've been at home, but we want to bring this to you. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about the pickers and where they're laying out. Brett, you're going to be excited to see this. Let's take a look. So right here we have picks from each one of these people, and these are win-loss records, and look who's at the top.
Yeah.
I had a good week last week. I had 8 out of 10. That's really good. If you don't know, 6 or 7's okay, but if you get 8, 9, or 10 out of 10, that's awesome. So I had a little bit of an upheaval there above some people. Langdon, 15 and 5.
It's 15 and 5.
Your dad,
like right
who
behind.
was #1, right?
Yeah.
He's at 14 and 6. Garrett's 14 and 6. Carpenter. Coach is doing well.
This is where we're going to have the coaching show.
I think he was down there in the 7 or 8 last week. Coach Dills also moved up to 6. German moved down. Coach Thompson. Those guys at 11 and 9.
Brandon Walker.
Gary had a 5 and 5 week. Wasn't so good. Brett, you also had a 5 and 5 week. Not too good. So it's those games. We picked some games that, aren't going to show just the winners. So here we go. Game number 1, Brett. I know you have different picks than what are highlighted there, but who you picking, Mississippi State or South Carolina?
I'm going with South Carolina.
South Carolina
ended up losing.
It's at South Carolina.
Ended up losing to Florida.
They did. Florida's doing really well right now. Florida's been winning some games they shouldn't have and showing some, making some people look at them a little bit differently. Okay, so South Carolina. The next game we have is going to be Kentucky sitting at number 9 playing Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Who are you picking?
We just lost. We
did. Vanderbilt also, like Florida, doing some things. The men and the women.
I'm picking Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt for the win.
I was just going to tell you this. We played Auburn over the weekend.
Yes, we did.
Saturday.
I mean, this coming Saturday, yeah.
Saturday.
That's on here. That's
Saturday.
one of the games.
And we play Kentucky next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. That's going to be a big one.
The 28th.
It's always a big one. Okay, so you got Vanderbilt winning in an upset, but doing well. And Kentucky's really just kind of in there. They're not doing this great.
The 28th.
Interesting pick. Next game we have Texas A&M playing Texas. This game at the Longhorns. Who do you got, Brett?
I'm going with A&M.
A&M. So you're probably picking a safe pick there. Ranked Texas
13.
A&M playing a huge in-state rivalry game. Next game we have, this one's going to be one of those you're looking at and going, oh, I don't know. Number 15, Oregon, headed to Minnesota. Who do you have in this one?
I'm going with Oregon.
Oregon for the win.
Oregon Ducks.
Heading all the way over to Minnesota where it's freezing cold. Oregon's cold too. Yeah, lots of snow. Lots of snow. All right, next game we have Chattanooga traveling up to Johnson City, East Tennessee State. Now, East Tennessee State has a really crazy looking arena that they play. All their games in there. Who are you picking in this one?
I'm going with East Tennessee State.
East Tennessee State, okay. And Chattanooga won against last week, was it Furman?
Yeah.
That was the game we had. Okay, so that you can watch this game on ESPN Plus if you have a subscription. Next game, number 2 Duke traveling to Wake Forest. Brett, who are you picking in this big game?
I'm going with Duke.
Duke, and this is a fun ACC, almost a tournament game. They go head-to-head, and it's always a slobber knocker.
4:30.
That's a good term.
That's 4:30.
4:30 game on ESPN, so not quite prime time. Prime time is coming up. Our next game, Ole Miss playing at Missouri. Who you got in this one, Brett?
I'm going with Ole Miss.
Ole Miss for the win. Next game, West Virginia, ranked at 23, playing against Kansas State. Who you got?
I'm going with Kansas State.
Kansas State, all right.
Yeah.
6:30 game on CBS Sports Network. Next game, number 7 Houston traveling to Kansas. Look at this one, the Jayhawks hosting Houston. Who you got?
I'm going with Kansas.
Kansas for the win. All right, that game you can watch
on the
ESPN,
road.
a primetime game. They're hosting.
Home.
Yeah, they're at home. So interesting game. Number 7 against number 12. Next game we have. Here we go. Here we go, Brett. Here we go. Number 6 Tennessee.
Number 1 Auburn.
Number 1 Auburn. This one again, primetime game on ESPN after the last one that we just
At 8:30.
Woo! 8:30. Who you got, Brett?
I'm going with
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
This is important, Brett.
I'm
Who
going
you
with
got?
Tennessee.
All right, the Volunteers down to play against Bruce Pearl's game. We all know Bruce Pearl, former coach at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Still beloved. Everybody still loves Bruce Pearl. He and Pat Summitt had great teams, a lot of fun. You know, they would vet each other, come out, and they had cheerleading and other things going on. Bruce Pearl came out bare-chested one time at a Lady Vols game. That was fun to watch. All right, 8:30 game on ESPN. Tennessee at Auburn. You got Tennessee. All right, here's a look at our polls. The men top 10, and you have top 25 and 8, and the coaches poll. And you can see Tennessee 6 and 7, Florida 5 and 6, Auburn sitting on the top on both polls. Duke right there with them. Alabama 4 and 3. So you got a pretty good mixture, Brett.
You know who's tied?
Who's tied?
Florida and Tennessee.
At 2 and 2
No,
apiece?
16 and 2.
16 and 2. So their win-loss record. I got you. All right.
I'm looking at it.
State and Duke, same thing. Duke. So you can see the trends there as well. Let's look at the women now. This is just as important. So the women, you're looking at the top 10 for the top 25 in the coaches poll. UCLA and South Carolina, Notre Dame locked up 1, 2, and 3. The rest of it's a mixture. You do not see the Lady Vols in there yet. They've had some losses that they should have won.
Like
They're really close games.
Like 1 point
They're
loss.
ranked, but they're not in the top 10. So we're hoping to see that soon. I do think you're going to see that really soon. And I know that you like to watch the Lady Vols, so we'll talk more about them. Let's talk a few games that you have, some high school games coming up.
These are basketball for tonight.
Oh, some games tonight that he wants you to know about.
Kentucky
and A&M.
A&M. Auburn and Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
Arkansas and Vanderbilt. LSU and South Carolina. Tennessee and Texas will play.
Tennessee and Texas. That also, interesting game there. So you're talking about Lady Vols in that game.
I was going to tell you a big game
is
for tonight.
Who is it?
Stanford and UTC.
And where's that game at? Who's hosting it?
UTC.
All right. So there's your good
this
game.
Is a prime time TV.
All right, so there's a game you can watch. What about high school?
And be down there too.
And you can go. So there's your, if you can go buy some tickets, those tickets are always reasonable.
And that game's going to be on TV too.
Be on TV. So let's talk about high school. He's got these awesome lineups of all these games.
For tomorrow.
For tomorrow, Ray County.
Ray County will play Cleveland.
And then the next game we have?
McMinn County play at Walker.
Walker Valley, all right. And Bradley, big one here.
Playing at East Hamilton.
So neither one of those teams have lost a district game. Nope. Is that right, Gary? So Gary's over here. He's in the house. He's getting ready to do some coaches shows. So that's a showdown right there. Both teams have not had a district loss, East Hamilton and Bradley. So there you go. Somebody's going to get one. Somebody's going to have a loss after that game.
And
Ray
Cleveland,
County.
Ray and Cleveland both play. McMinn County, Walker, Bradley
East Hamilton. So that's boys and girls all the way through.
And tell them who's going to be coming to the Bradley Ooltewah game on Tuesday.
I think this guy right here. So if you come out to Bradley next week, Tuesday night,
see Bradley.
Brett Whitehead's going to be in the house.
See Bradley Ooltewah play.
What kind of, what are you going to wear? Are you going to have a shirt on that's going to showcase something? You're going to have a Bradley shirt?
Yeah.
So look for Bradley shirt on Brett.
Oh, and 2 of my friends are getting the 100 ball on Tuesday.
There you go. We'll talk about that on the coaches show. So stay tuned for that today. That's right. And that's all we have today.
That's what Gary was saying.
Gary's going to talk about it here in just a second. That's all we have.
Avery Brewer is getting the 1,000 ball.
There he is. He's let it out of the bag. That's all we have today. Till next time, we'll see you
on the sideline.